What's up, guys and gals? Cup1 back at you again with another Pokemon Go battle video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Rainbow Cup, and specifically the 7th bracket of Battle Park in their first practice tournament for the Rainbow Cup. And here I've got some notes on what I think will do well against my opponent's team. We're playing up against Only Agus, and if you don't know, he also has a YouTube channel, so I'm going to drop the link in the description box below. Hopefully you guys can go check out his channel. He is a Spanish speaker and helps out some more Spanish speakers in how they play the Pokemon Go. Without any further ado, we're going to be looking at his lineup. He's got a Lantern, an Azumarill, a Mantine, a Quagsire, an Exeggutor, and a Ninetales. So the first thing I noticed was my Quagsire has really good matchups against most of his team, excluding the Exeggutor and his Quagsire. I am running a Sludge Bomb Quagsire, so I have a better matchup against Azumarill, where if I was running Earthquake, I'd be having a worse time against Azumarill. So that's kind of why I've got the Sludge Bomb on my Quag. To help him out against those two bad matchups of Quagsire and Exeggutor, I'm going to be bringing my Venusaur because he can beat the Exeggutor if it's running Bullet Seed, I believe is the fast move. But if he's running Confusion, then my Vine Whip will not do very well. But he can also beat the Quagsire, and that's the big thing, is I need to get rid of his Quagsire, so I'll be running Venusaur. And then to knock out his Grass type, I feel like Mantine does the best job because he also covers the Ninetales, where my Fortress would fail. And he can also cover the Quagsire, kind of, if I can get enough Water Pulses off. But here, Only Agus is selecting his team, and I think it's going to be most likely his Exeggutor, some type of anti-grass like Ninetales, and there it is, there's the Ninetales. And he could also be bringing his Mantine there, but this is a great leadoff for us. So we got Mud Shots going, dealing a super effective amount of damage to his Ninetales. I was unsure of how fast Solar Beam charged, so I made sure to block that just to make sure. And after looking at the simulations, I think that it takes about 8 or 9 Fire Spins to get up to a Solar Beam. So there's really no need for me to be shielding these Psyshocks. Just let 1 or 2 go through. And here I'm going to try to shield bait with the Sludge Bomb. Maybe he'll think it's an Earthquake, and he doesn't fall for it, so he takes a little bit of damage there. I switch over to Venusaur to farm up as much energy as possible, and it's an Earthquake, so this is a problem. We might have to actually throw off a Frenzy Plant to make sure that we don't die to a good matchup. And he lets it go. He doesn't want to waste the shield on a bad matchup. Good play by him. And really good on him to be bringing an Earthquake Quagsire. Beats the mirror match, and it can also stand a chance against Venusaur if they're not running Razor Leaf. So here we're going to most likely go for a Stone Edge. Actually, we're going to go for a Shield Bait because we're going to overcharge, hope to break the shield, and we do. And then here we're contemplating if we should shield with our Mantine in the back. And we do shield to try to get off that Stone Edge. We did have a little bit of energy banked, and it does a great amount of damage. And I believe he has his Ninetales in the back, so our Mantine should be able to clean up at this point. Just need to build up a little bit of energy on his Mantine, and then throw off that Water Pulse for the Ninetales. Probably could have knocked it out with an Aerial Ace, but wanted to make sure, and also it's a little bit of Flare. We have Water Pulse. Oh, he actually switched out his Mantine, so we just finished that off with some Wing Attacks. Good game, Only Agus. So he actually picked up a Sinnoh Stone. That's really great. So looking over his team going into Game 2, I don't really see any reason to change up the lineup. I really like the Quagsire being the base of the team, seeing how it has 4 good matchups against his. Really only dropping the Quagsire and Exeggutor, and then just covering those 2 bad matchups. I don't see how he could possibly bring Lantern if we are running Quagsire and Venusaur, so he could only really cover our Mantine, and that's probably his only Pokemon that hard counters our Mantine. I guess he could soft counter with Azumarill and Quagsire. But yeah, I think his best bet is to bring his Azumarill because it has fair matchups against my board. He does have to watch out for the Sludge Bomb on my Quagsire now that he knows that's my moveset. But I think it has a pretty good chance against all of my team. If he can get an Ice Beam on the Venusaur, he can knock that out. If he can get a Water Pulse, or no, I'm sorry, if he can get a Hydro Pump onto my Quagsire, he could potentially knock that out. I'm not sure if he's running Play Rough yet. I actually don't know if he's even running Ice Beam, but I assume you do run Ice Beam on your Azumarill. And so we're going to lead off with Venusaur against his Lantern. So I predicted that he would bring a Lantern this game since I did run Mantine, and he needed a hard counter to that. Right here, we're just going to try to piggyback off of him to potentially get him to throw a Thunderbolt off first before we lose all of our energy. But before he switches out, I wanted to hit him with a Frenzy Plant to take out the shield. And now he's going to run out of there, trying to knock us out with some Fire Spins, and it works. We're going to go down to some Fire Spins on his Ninetales there. Really well played there. He had a bad lead and ended up winning the leadoff Pokemon. So here we're going to just go straight up for the Stone Edge. I don't care if he shields or not. It's pretty quick to charge it up. It's very comparable to Sludge Bomb. So we're just going to make sure we don't take any Solar Beam from the Ninetales. Here we're going to go for yet another Stone Edge to try to take him out since he does not have any shields. Could have possibly taken the knockout with Sludge Bomb there. I'm not really sure on the damage output against a Pure Fire. But here I'm assuming he's going to bring in his Grass type to take us out. And this is kind of where I started thinking maybe he didn't bring Venusaur this time. So maybe we can actually just sweep it up with our Fortress, and it's an Azumarill. So we're up a shield. This looks pretty good. We should be able to pull this off. As long as he doesn't hit us with a Hydro Pump, we're good. He's going to do some shield baiting with Ice Beam. So I'm learning his moveset. We're going to go for Earthquake, doing as much damage as we can. And I think we have to go for a second Earthquake. We might be able to do the job with a Heavy Slam, but no matter what, we shield here to make sure it's not a Hydro Pump. And he's actually going for another shield bait. That's great. So in this spot, I'm going to go for the Earthquake just to make sure. I think we could have covered it if we went for this Heavy Slam. But also, I didn't want to give up my second charge move as information. He might be afraid to run his Ninetales against us for too long if he thinks we have Rock Tomb. And also, the Heavy Slam possibly... It's a lot better against Quagsire. I can tell you that much. It's a lot better against the Quagsire because it can shield bait on them. So, we ended up winning 2-0. Good game to Only Agus. Please go check out his YouTube channel. He does some really great content about once or twice a week, covering the metagame of the new formats, and I think he's been covering the Rainbow Cup. I haven't seen any Jungle Cup videos yet, but go please check out his channel. He's a really good player, and we're going to be matched up against NW Robinson, who beat us in the Nightmare Cup Finals last tournament. So he's got a really strong team, and here we're just going to look at all the different teams. A lot of people brought Quagsire, a lot of people brought Venusaur. Most people brought Charizard if they have it. There's a lot of Lantern and Azumarill in the early meta. Fortress is popping up on a lot of teams. And then the last pick is kind of where you have some things that are showing up, like Raichus and Lanterns, and some fancy Pokemon like Ninetales and Exeggutor. Meganium is on here. Slowbro, I really enjoy looking at Slowbro. I think he's got some great matchups. There was even an Electabuzz and Venomoth near the bottom. And those are some interesting Pokemon for the Rainbow Cup. And good luck to all of you guys in your upcoming Rainbow Cups, if you still have any. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cup1, signing out.